Impulse made Heath Duncan's hands slick, made his young muscles tighten with the urge to sprint away. But he remained still like the cobblestones and merely swept a careful glance around him. People milled by, arrayed in colors as drab and worn as the murky sky. The hum of words mingled with the steady clomp of a horse, the creaking wheels of a hackney, and the faraway shrill of a woman's hue and cry. 1 second passed, then 2. From 3 feet away, the apron-clad baker exchanged another loaf of bread for 2 halfpence. "Here you go, fella, and have a good day. Can I have it wrapped?" "For sure you can." The baker shifted, reached for something on the other end of his table. "Now." Heath grabbed the loaf. Heart-pounding, he brushed past shoulders and stared ahead, as if an imperative errand urged him on. "Thief!" Panic drove him faster. "Him! That's him!" the baker's raspy voice called. "Stop that thief!" The streets narrowed, the crowd grew, and the cobblestone became jagged, as if with every intention of stopping him. Wind tore the cap from his head. "Thief! Thief!" Dodging around a woman and her bushel, Heath jerked around the corner bookstore and darted down an empty, shadowed alleyway. "Please, please." Half-frantic prayers made a helter-skelter race in his mind. Shouldn't he be used to it by now? He didn't know. Didn't know if he'd ever be. At the alley's end, he cut around a second curve and navigated toward Lot Street, where he spared a glance over his shoulder. Nothing. He dragged his sleeve across his wet forehead. Needed to slow down, play the part of an errand boy again. Then again, who would think him an errand boy? He didn't even have shoes. Hardly had arms and legs either. Just a lot of skin on bones, with dirt so thick that he imagined it was the only thing that kept him warm at nights. I have bread. Not much else, but he had bread. They wouldn't go hungry tonight. He wouldn't have to watch her hollow, desperate eyes go dim again. Wouldn't have to listen as she lay on her side and dry-heaved. Wouldn't have to grasp a thin hand that was starting to feel like bones only lightly covered with skin. At least not tonight. Another curve landed him on Cox Edge Road, where evening shadows invaded as quickly as the cool fog. Just a few more minutes, 2 or 3 at most, then Nan would have something to smile about again. Something drifted across the air, a sound that had no place in a dirty street. Soft, lulling, and familiar. Heath froze until the words finally penetrated his shock. Nan. He sprinted across the street, following the song as if it were a paunchy gentleman with short pockets. When he neared, no one crowded around her. No one even stopped. They merely passed by, as those who crush a flower without even realizing the glorious scent enhanced their day. Mid-sentence, her song fell away. Heath. He grasped her hand, peeled back her fingers. 1 farthing. Heath, I'm sorry. A reprimand tried to surface, but he had no strength. Instead, he grabbed her elbow and tugged her back into the alley she shouldn't have left. Mud. Always mud. The stench of it became swallowed in every breath, absorbed in every rag of clothing. God, I can't do this. When they reached the empty crate, he yanked off the blanket and motioned her in. They squeezed in next to each other, close enough that their knees were forced to their chests before he dropped the blanket back down. Then silence. Tears appeared, just as he'd known, in 6-year-old eyes that were empty and starved. Did you? He pulled open his coat, slipped out the loaf.